Well, I think your analysis was very straight-lined. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing frogs.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go along that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got that thing.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Come on, Lou Taylor. That's good. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
okay,
an
he's good too.
erratic
Mikhail
detective, is Mikhail Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? Look, how you deal with that? You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Gildarie, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that. Hello, welcome to the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon Show, or the Freddie Kissoon Show, whichever one however you want to put it. Our co-host for the past month and will be with us is Akash Prasad. This is a special program this evening, special in the context that after 21 months, we should have featured this type of culture, these type of people, and their religion. But better late than never. This evening, we will feature the Rastafari religion and some of their original adherents. Both of our guests have 50 years or more experience in the Rastafari religion. So tonight we're going to hear about Rastafari culture, how the Rastafari Council was formed, and much more about this small but peaceful, truthful, and philosophical religion. Now, when Christianity first started, it started as a very, very small group persecuted by the Roman Empire, and then Christianity took over the Roman Empire. So things start very small, and if you have devoted adherents, it gets larger. For the Rastafari religion in the Caribbean, particularly in Jamaica, it didn't become like the Catholic, Muslim, Hindu, Baha'i faiths in the Caribbean. And that's because when a religion like in Christianity and others like similar religions start, they expand exponentially and they take over the universe when people of wealth, people of status, people that are powerful also come on board. Unfortunately, I don't think that happened when the Rastafari religion hit the Caribbean. People saw it as a cult. People saw it as not something for the society to embrace. And unfortunately, Rastafari culture, Rastafari religion in the Caribbean has not penetrated the society as other religions. I did an analysis to why that is so. I do a daily column for the Chronicle, and last Saturday I wrote this column. It's entitled Rastafari Failure in CARICOM Nation, a Class Analysis. And I look at how the well-to-do people, the well-to-do classes, the bourgeoisie, the middle class, turned their backs on Rastafari culture. And that's why today it remains so small. But nevertheless, one thing you can say about it, adherents all over the Caribbean are very devoted to their culture. This evening we have a sister with over 50 years of adherence to Rastafari culture. She was one of the founders of the Rastafari Council. Next to her is a brother who has been in the Rastafari movement since 1976, and he is the author of a collection of poems of Rastafari culture and religion. And that book was engineered or produced by one of Guyana's foremost scholar, David Dabadine. When I introduce the brother, we will show the book on the screen. So our guest this evening is Sister Isis from the Rastafari Council, and Brother Cedric Castello, Rastafarian author. Sister Isis, thanks for coming here.
Nice meeting.
I love this opportunity, brother.
Well, there will be more opportunity because we think it's only fair that we
What's
should
your
feature.
name? Akash.
That's our co-host. I always put my foot in my mouth actually to introduce him.
That's
all right. That's all right.
These things happen with
In the world of imperfect.
It's a wonderful opportunity here.
Yes.
Lovely.
Sister Fileen, how did you come to embrace Rastafari culture, and how long have you been in the council? I know you were a founding member of the council.
Well, my story is a long one.
Tell the story. It's gonna last more than an hour?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I come, where was I live? Aranjuak, right? Good. I was going through Aranjuak one day, right? I did go in and do little buying and selling, so I can make little cassava ball and thing. Big worries things. Anyhow, when me the Rasta man, me husband, Bongo is Ras, the name. The name was Levi one time. Then he changed the name to Bongo is Ras. And he now started teaching me, say, man, you going with all this struggle. You're going to be able to feed these people. You got to live this life, live Rasta. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And start showing me how I could do my own little hustle and things and sell, you know, teach me how to sell little crab oil. He started teaching me how to cook all. Nice Rasta food.
Bongo.
Bongo is Ras, yes. You know what I mean? And all these things. I left my family house now. I used to live with my grandmother and my auntie and my cousins. At one time we used to sleep on one bed. Me and my cousins them. And he said, man, hey, you gotta come out the house, you gotta make kites. You know what I mean? And come out and, you know, make yourself a woman and so. Me mother them time living in Canada. Brother, sister, everybody. Tell the all them is Canadian. Got a blue book, I still there's a guy these now, but I say me running and guy no way, I can stand up to the battle. You know what I mean? So I start up now with me husband is Ras. Will start teaching me the life. You understand? And me know what the guy was better that. But the man start teach me for cook and thing. Send me along for go sew. Start sew my little clothes and all these things. I start buying these style out thing and all these things, you know what I mean? I start sewing and thing and doing my own thing. I still got a shop there. It's easy one that farm the Rastafari Council. You understand? But it's done 18 years now since he passed away. And the council still left there. I love these Rastaman now, the Simeon and Rayann. They must say them is big general secretary and president and thing. Allow them for coming now is a little square like this. Why allow them for set up the little office car? It was a little wooden thing when my husband passed or so.
Where was that?
In Aranjuak.
In Aranjuak, yeah.
And we set up this little office now so. When they done set up the office now, they're supposed to hand me keys. You understand? Because I was still living in there. When his Ras passed, he left me just like how they.
So the Rastafari Council put you out?
You think I tell you, they got me in front of the door of the office, sit down, tie bush and cut the rose. Rose in the mountain as a seller herbs good for your body. Rose in the mountain. And the little herbs, the different natural herbs we use to keep yourself clean and so. And they gone. They just running in, running out. I was coming with media. They ain't telling you nothing. They collecting one of the money out there. Going with the stamp of me husband set. Where you could go and get donation and all these things.
This when I ain't mean to interrupt, but this when you're talking about a different set of Rastafari.
Yeah.
No, it's talking about these same Rastafari councilmen them will come in into this office. You understand? When my husband dead, they said the conference he come in, them time Jack Joe being in president. And that conference coming with some foreigners and so they had to get a little money and so. And they give them a money and all for push the conference and thing. The keep of the place up the East Coast. The government building with that there.
They keep it at the National Cultural, not the Cultural Center. They kept it at the Conference Center.
No, not the conference center.
All right, anyway.
Anyhow, these man them now run out. They left the place and now they don't give me nothing. Guys were keeping up the place. You understand? I already get my title transport.
So there's
and
another
everything.
side to the Rastafari Council that we. Well, look, let's bring in Brother Cedric Castello.
Yes.
I would like to show you his book, Rasta Lyrics, that was published through the encouragement of our scholar David Dabadine.
Yes.
Cedric Castello, Rasta Lyrics, one of the few books in the Caribbean on Rasta poems.
Yes.
This is quite an
Indeed.
achievement, man.
And indeed, and the fact that it was published by the Caribbean Press, which was, like a government entity,
yeah.
shows that I virtually boast about this, that it is the first time in the Caribbean, or maybe in the English-speaking world, that the government has put their support behind a purely Rastafarian effort. I mean, it's a Rastafarian book because it is named Rasta Lyrics. It is written in good faith and decent language, but it unapologetically advances the case of Rasta, including the immaculate integrity of Haile Selassie first. And the bottom line, this is one book in which a man says plainly in the English language that Haile Selassie first is the Almighty. And this is a controversial statement which most persons who claim to be Rasta are afraid to say. As one man who visited my house a day on his way to the university tell me, how could you tell intelligent people that Haile Selassie first is the Almighty? I said, well, if you can't tell intelligent people, you can't tell it to yourself. And if it's not your conviction, well, then you're not Rasta. You see, this is what is Rasta. Nothing else is Rasta. Rasta is not locks or red, gold, and green or anything. Rasta is accepting that Haile Selassie first is the one to whom Job in the Bible referred when he said, I know my Redeemer liveth, and at the latter day he shall stand upon the earth. If you are a student of the Hindu religion, you will know that the final avatar of Vishnu, when he says he will come to spread Dharma and judge the world, he will appear on a white horse with a drawn sword. And that is how Haile Selassie first paraded on Coronation Day in Ethiopia, according to tradition.
Akash?
It is such a pleasure to have both of you here. Today's discussion, well, let me call it a reasoning.
Yes.
Today's reasoning will be based on a couple of things. I want to talk to you about the Kebra Nagast, which I read 20 years ago.
Yes.
It's called The Glory of the Kings. I believe that every Rasta should read that book.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about the levity of Rastafari.
Yes.
Right? Levity is
I'm not cutting you, us on the mention of Kebra Nagast. Recently, the wife of Professor David Aberdeen, Sister Rachel knows, bought a copy of the Kebra Nagast and sent it for me.
Okay.
And also, and there are two other things I want to talk to you about. And first I'm going to talk to you about is the identity of Rastafari and the spirituality of Rastafari.
Yes.
So, let me put it this way. If a man wears, and I say this with much respect to every class of people and religion and so on. But if I'm a Muslim, so if a man wears, I can say this, if a man wears a Muslim garb, goes into a store and steals something, then you will see Muslim man steals this. Now Rastafari, the identity of the Rasta man is the locks, right? the locks because we can't see the heart.
No.
We can't see. You can't see my Rastafari heart that I have. I don't have locks.
Right.
But the identity of the Rasta man is his locks. There are many people out there who just grow locks and go around without the identity. And how do you then spread the liberty of Rastafari?
No, well, as I told President Janet Jagan, when you see a dreadlock and you need to determine whether or not he's Rasta, ask him to whom does he pray. Rastas pray to Haile Selassie first. And that's the difference. Now, we know even the Mau Mau in Kenya had locks. The Nagababas in India have dreadlocks. So with just perusing the world and life and to how it goes, we know that to say that the identity of the Rasta man is the dreadlocks is to be superficial. I've seen where just not cutting your hair and not combing it forms dreadlocks, even matted locks. If you look at a lunatic on the street or a vagrant, you see some of them got top locks and so, but it's not Rasta. It's because the locks, you see, is what many people count Ozzy, Bob Marley, the Wailers, other Rasta man, first exemplified. And this is what people noticed, first of all, the dreadlocks. So many people, as we say, shelter under dreadlocks. I was a Rasta man for many years with Shinehead after the police had cut my locks and people advised me, my relatives to think. But I was a boxer, went on this standard officers course and eventually asked them if cutting your hair and wearing uniform is part of it. And when the coordinator, Captain Seaford, said cutting your hair and wearing uniform is what we're paying you for, part of what we're paying you for, And I said, in my mind, imagine if Mau Mau in Kenya fought for Kenya's independence with big long locks. Having locks and beard doesn't make your aim worse, or make you cutting your hair low doesn't make you invulnerable to bullets. So, the cutting hair and thing, I saw it as purely bald-headed hypocrisy. And that's why I left the military.
Sister Fileen, how large would you say, but don't put a figure in it, but would you say this country has a noticeable community of Rastafari, or is it extremely small?
No. God, no.
You're satisfied that they have a lot of
real enough. There's got gathering on the 23rd of July.
There's got the Rasta gathering 23rd.
In Linden. The big tabernacle.
Not in Georgetown.
In Linden.
And you have a fairly good attendance?
Yes, when His Majesty Day, the 23rd of July, and like the 2nd of November, and them days we celebrate. His Majesty was crowned King of Kings, 23rd of July. 2nd of November is when he was crowned King of Kings, and the board is the 23rd of July.
You have attended, how often they have the...
Every year.
Every year, and every year it's in Linden?
Yeah. And
why is it...
No, they got another tabernacle too in Bobby's.
There's none in Georgetown or Demerara?
No, Bobby's and Linden.
And you...
At times they keep it in Bobby's too.
And you have gone to every one of them?
I go to them, yeah.
And you're satisfied that the religion is alive and well in Guyana?
Endless youths and children, man and woman, enough. Right in me, we was alive, we gather already. And if you see the whole yard full up, I never see this place full. So
a lot of us.
Since then, it never full back.
A lot of Rasta colors and flags and those things, right?
Yes.
Let me put on my Rasta.
You got your green, miss the gold.
I miss the gold?
Gold and red.
So, July you will be...
When I go last year, but the year before I went, I make a video at the Bingy House.
Okay.
We're running for Facebook. Nice, with the souls. I got enough souls, man.
Tell me something, Brother Castello. You mentioned that police cut off your...
Yes, once...
That doesn't happen in the Caribbean.
Well,
police cut off
we were hanging out in Durban Street Lodge, myself and two other brethren, and a police van drove up, stopped, say, "I'll come." First they searched us, then start to hold your head rough. And he said, "This is young blacks, boy. Look, these young blacks coming here."
And just because of your locks, the police cut off your locks?
Mine was cut, said kneel down. We had to kneel down. Mine was cut with a pen knife. A rusty pen knife.
What year was this?
So it was like 1981 or just around that time.
But that's the time when
that was in Burnham time. Burnham time.
But
and I said,
he allowed
when we saying, man,
that's
I even exaggerated. I said, man, why you are cutting me here? I was a high school graduate, although I just come out of secondary school. He said, I'm a high school graduate, not a thief. Why you all doing it? And the leader for the squad, a man they used to call Tracker Dog. This is false name. I can't remember his real name.
But is he alive now?
I don't think so. Tracker. Yeah. He said, well then, this is for your own good. The government said kill y'all but we only cutting y'all here.
The government said to kill Rasta?
Said kill y'all
This is under Burnham and Hamilton Green government.
Look, Rastas used to get caught bathing in the blackout, and men got to tie the t-shirt to each other, and then the last man, it tie on to the back of the police van, and they got a trot from the Lemar Canal to Evelary.
What year was this?
I tell you, in the early 80s. At the time when Bob Marley music could not be played on the radio.
Well, I know about that. There were some songs that the government didn't want to write. Rat Race is about governments working with CIA and chase those crazy ballheads out of town.
Bob Marley music. And many of the people...
So the Minister of Information had given orders for those Bob Marley, one of the men who put the Caribbean on the world map. His songs could not have been played.
Yeah.
You know, these are things. That is why we have these programs.
People don't want to remember those things.
When you talk about it,
I tell people, many people, and these are the same quote-unquote black people. You couldn't visit them if you were a Rasta. You couldn't propose to their young female relatives if you were a Rasta. And them thing, they would tell people, don't keep your company. There was a song that used to go around, curly locks. Now the time of dreadlocks. The daddy said you shouldn't play with me. It was not just something with the opposite sex, and so it was with like even your friends.
I got news for you. Do you know I have that song in my car stereo right now? When we go out, I will play it for you in the car.
Yeah, well, look at that.
I have it by a British singer named Josh Stone.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes. But this is something, this is why we want to feature different viewpoints and different culture in this program. How many people in this country, because of a youthful population, know that Rat Race, Chase Those Crazy Ballhead Out of Town, Babylon, all those songs were banned.
All Bob Marley's music.
So wasn't there some kind of, out of that, the Rasta didn't stage a protest movement against this kind of police oppression?
You see, it was a real serious thing. That people were like ashamed of Rasta. Rasta was looked upon as a disgrace, as the degradation of the so-called black race and stuff. Till, you know, people were saying, man, you ain't got ambition. Secondary school friends say, man, how come you use Rasta? I say, man, you know, nobody wants.
But they won't tell people how come they're Baha'i or how come they're Christian.
A friend and I even did a joke. We used to say, man, we got a new religion named Skuzu. The god named Wowo. And this god would look up to the east every day and say, Zan Zan. And people said, well, you know, believe kill and believe cure. Once you got faith in it, you think. And I said, well, you see proof that save your Rasta now. Since you say, man, I'm a Rasta, man, don't make a get yeah, so anything is better than Rasta.
There are three, I don't want to call them branches of Rastafari. the Bobo Shanti, the Nyabingi, and the 12 tribe.
Yes.
Which one is more prevalent in Guyana?
Well, the Nyabingi, I would say, is more prevalent because that was the organization or the grouping of Rasta that moved me the most. Actually, the Nyabingi was what Isras really started, and he, along with a brethren called Ras Rowley, who was a graduate of the university, a very brilliant math lecturer also, and started the Nyabingi there. But after some elders, like 19 elders, visited in 1997 on the invitation of Ras Iwata Selassie, who's known as Keith Paul, the man who wrote One People, One Nation, One Destiny with GT Boom Band. He invited 19 Rasta elders here to commemorate the 105th anniversary of Haile Selassie First Birth. And there was a grand meeting, and members of the House of Nyabingi of Jamaica came and established a part of the International House of Nyabingi here in Guyana. Of that part, I'm an elective throne, which is the equivalent of a priest. So is Ras Judah. Ras Rowley was also one, but then he migrated to America. And I've advocated Haile Selassie First principles of, among the many projects undertaken for the advancement of our people, we decided that education be the principle. And people have fought against that, and that's my issue with them. So I found that my presence there served no useful purpose, so I do not visit them regularly anymore.
Sister Rayann, you said something I think will resonate with the Guyanese people, things that I didn't know. I have many Rasta friends. Of course, I consider Bob Marley a historic icon. So I did not know that your husband started this little place, and the Rastafari Council of Guyana has literally
not the council actually.
But that cannot be. No, we have to publicize this.
Yeah,
of course, there's two sides to the story.
Yes,
there's two sides to the story.
Bring them to let them see them.
Why haven't you? You have a.
Now we got a liar. Don't send them a letter for the vacate the premises.
That's right.
The place is a place you so open.
So why
anybody could come along or whether you're black, you're white, you're blue, or you're shiny color. You can learn something. You teach enough for them. The same one Rayann.
Don't call nobody name for us to get a libel.
Teach them to make shoes. Teach them how to cook. Teach them
I thought you were calling the name in a negative.
Word the name too much. But teach them. You know what I mean? And they come in all the time learning. Then the people come and tell me, sit down there, so come to me shop door and tell me, either in a position now that he could squeeze me. I said, me?
There's one of the members of the Rastafari.
Yes.
But this religion supposed to
General
be a religion
Secretary of Rastafari Council. Hey, what the man say? And right now people lives only valid 60,000, you know. I said, what?
That's a Rastafari.
A Rasta man. Yes, this brethren will say he's general.
No, call him. No.
The one will say he's general secretary of the Guyana Rastafari Council.
We withdraw the calling of that name.
Good. He's the general secretary of Rastafari Council. Them run away with the organization actually. Laying don't want to know nothing more going on.
And it's your husband that gave them the place there?
Yeah, allow them for come in there and, help them for teach them little thing and show them how to
But the two sides of the story. Your story is, why are these brothers behaving like this? What do you think is money involved?
Money.
Status?
Is money. Is money. Right now, everybody they get 1.8 million from the government the other day.
The Rastafari Council?
Yes, and the same.
But they're in trouble with
the same by.
They're in trouble if they don't make that money accountable. The government is very serious about that.
I know. We take this money. Yeah, actually, we do with the money. He said, either teaching some youth some language some way. Me know what they You seen them, they ain't coming and open the office, they just coming and getting the papers.
I can't just sound like a prodigy.
Well, actually,
this song like a prodigy.
Actually, in what happened? Remember when the money was the government said, well, listen, we're not going to give it to prodigy anymore. We're going to give it to
people.
individual organizations, and the Guyana Rastafari Council was one of the
that didn't get the name makeup. Yeah.
And when, as a matter of fact, when they received the money, the Rastafari Council, they were very grateful, and they even published it on their Facebook page, on the Guyana Rastafari Council Facebook page, that they were that in many ways they were grateful for this gesture, that now they can use the money to do their, to do things Rastafari.
They ain't doing nothing. They many know on a desk in the house.
You see, this is what...
Watch, I had a desk with my husband when he get...
We're going to go and film this thing.
This desk, this one, them cook out the desk. Living in a part where you do my leather walk, my husband teach me make leather slippers and shoes. All them take to make shoe for you.
No, I got to order
yes. The workshop, they make the workshop
you have to patronize the sister.
They make this workshop rotten out. Here, due to the the little office there, they left the old place in a way that me workshop end up ratting out while he's going and sit down and make my little leather slipper. Here, and they just there with this office. In time they got media thing, they run in a day and got the people come video them for the day, and then they gone, everybody branch off, gone to different place. They ain't opening no office or nothing. The lie now give them a letter for move toward 1st of December supposed to gone.
Oh, the court give judgment?
Yeah,
the court give judgment.
I got a lawyer who working for me. But don't make her get me title, my transport, and everything.
But they're gonna move.
And I'm paying taxes. These boys ain't got $5, nothing. They don't ask nothing about the place, what you doing.
You would say that...
And monies keep coming into these boys in this place.
You would say that the Rastafari community does not know what the Rastafari Council is doing?
No, they may know, because it's just this two them. Same
I hope this program helps.
Two them was saying this general secretary and president. I don't say it's an accident. President want to mash up my residence long. But God alone though. The little boy Rayann tell me I got three months of living there already, couple years ago. Here? And I tell you, boy, teach you give you some licking in this yard. And
no, but Rastafari ain't supposed to be violent people.
You know me, but me, why with you? I think enough time them girls just come, me friend, and say, girl, look how this boy's got this place locked up.
So you and your husband were one of the original founders of the Rastafari Council?
Yes, I live with my husband.
What do you think is disrespect to women? Do you think
total what? I live with my husband 13 years straight. Lone Rasta.
Like chauvinism.
Start dress culture, live all the years.
But when this gets out, what you're saying here, I don't think it's going to impact positively in the Rastafari Council.
Well, me mind they want to reveal these boys wicked.
You got to bring them on the
say them is a Rastafari for my. Them ain't ready yet. Here, they just run around and they do talk, think. Them ain't helping. If you come and see the place, they got me workshop right now due to the fixed day part. And it's me roof there on their part too. Here, they got me part leak out there now.
They can't, with the money they got from a prodigy, if they couldn't apply for a house flat and build a
Nothing them ain't doing, nothing these boys ain't doing. I know what they're doing with the money. That's why
I've got a good guess at what they do with it. That's why I was never part of them. Since they had an international conference, a so-called...
That's why it comes out international conference.
Yeah. I told them, I said, this will be nothing but a talk shop, and I'm not a part of it. They wanted a telethon, a night where they collecting money on TV. They invited me to be one of the TV hosts. I said, I'm not going to be part of it. This time I used to do business on America Street.
I don't know what
I said, because when y'all misappropriate the money, I don't want the people think it's part of it. I got on America Street.
I was treasuring the organization.
They collected $6.6 million in cash.
They had a free and fair vote.
And do all kind of things.
They had a free and fair vote.
Yes, I was a treasurer in the organization one time.
But the election, when they knocked out, the election was fair, or was they skullduggery?
They just skullduggery, knock out,
Akash,
bringing the by, say who's president or secretary.
No, this is a revelation.
And down behind the door.
This is a revelation tonight.
In front of the door, they sit down, and my husband left me behind me desk just so with all the documents. You see documents and things. I got all the documents right now for Rastafari.
And I always admire these people as people who are very sacred, very upright.
Yes, let's touch on a little bit on the spirituality aspect. Let's go a little deep. Ras Makonnen Tafari.
Yes.
His lineage can be traced back to David through Bathsheba,
and
to the Queen of Sheba. Yes. Right. So that I'm only taking up to David because of Sheba, who was Ethiopian.
Yes.
Right. When she left, after everything happened, she left and she went back to Ethiopia, taking with her the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes.
Right. It is my belief and the beliefs of many Rastafari that the Ark of the Covenant is still in Ethiopia. And that is what the Kebronagas also looks at, because the glory of the kings and the Ark of the Covenant.
What's your reaction to that?
What's your reaction to that?
Well, actually, I have definite thoughts of that. Now, in Ethiopia, where David lived in Ethiopia, that place that they call in Israel is Palestine, there was never no Israel.
That's right.
Israel was Israel is a man, not a place. The land of Israel is the land of Ethiopia. I read the Amharic, I read the Ethiopian Bible. The Ethiopian Bible tells me at the time of the people being held bondage, the Israelites, the children of Israel being held bondage in Egypt, Egypt had land on both sides of the Eritrean Sea, what is called the Red Sea.
Eritrean Sea.
You see? And when the Ethiopian Bible tells me the children of Israel sojourned across the Eritrean Sea and crossed the Eritrean Sea and sojourned on the banks of Eritrea, which is northern Ethiopia, past Djibouti. So where David lived was northern Ethiopia. Queen Sheba came from southern Ethiopia to northern Ethiopia to reach David. And one proof of this is that when Absalom, the son of David, had made no children, he caused the sovereigns to raise a stone monument 100 feet high in the air. That was the first of the monoliths of Ethiopia, for which Ethiopia is now famous. The monoliths called Atkilts in Amharic. You see, that was, and Axum, where these monuments were, that was where David lived in Ethiopia. Ethiopia still has the tomb of King David. It has King David's palace and with a roof garden from which one can see into a circle of stones, which was called Beersheba's bath. So, and you see how David saw Uriah's wife bathing.
But Cedric, so you would say from the time when the police humiliated you guys, harassed you guys, at a time when Bob Marley and Caribbean governments were moving against Western imperialism and white man domination.
Yes.
At that time when Rastas were being mistreated, you think the religion have come a far way now, where the religion is respected by bourgeois people, middle class people, government officials. Let me tell you something, brother. Corridors of power.
We turned a corner in 1992. At around, after 2000, I was invited by Dr. Catherine Monk, who was the head for Irakrama. I was introduced to her by Professor David Aberdeen at a function she had at
David Aberdeen is coming here today, in the country today.
Oh, yes. How fortunate and wonderful. Plus, this is 1st of March, the Battle of Ottawa.
It's me, boy.
It's a great day. So, when I arrived at the function at Carol Lodge, I get goosebumps as I recall this. A senior police officer strode to the taxi at which I arrived and opened the door and greeted me and said good night. I said, well, things have really changed. I said, because a few decades ago, if I'd seen a police like you, I would have got hide or run. Save my life. Now a police is greeting me. Police officer. I said, we really come a long way.
David Aberdeen is coming in tonight, and in the morning, I will set up a meeting. I will tell him that you're here.
Yes.
Because he's one of the person that told me about your book.
And he was really influential in getting me to, I would say, come back to deal with society again.
I want to personally offer an apology, me personally, to the Rastafari movement, its culture, its adherent. I campaigned in the 2015 national election. And I remember standing on the platform in Paradise of the East Coast, sharing the platform with Basil Williams. And we promised the Rastafari people of this country that we will amend, that if the government gets in, it will amend. I was one of the speakers that will amend the Marijuana Act so 2 grams, 3 grams you would not be arrested for. And that bill, after the government came into power, the Granger, Ramjatan, Clive Thomas, who put in line, government came into power, the amendment was laid, everything, and put in the order paper and was scrapped. And today you will be arrested for 4 grams of marijuana. You know, I have to apologize because I made that promise. How do the Rastafari feel about that? And do you know, they picketed picketed Parliament when the bill was further amended. That means you can go to jail now for 4 grams, which you could still be charged.
Yes.
That has to be a betrayal of Rastafari.
Yeah, we think we look at it as a shame. And
I want to settle for those.
No, but you see, what we do, you know, people literally pray about this. And, you know, like, pray for guidance and protection all the while. I mean, in 1991, 2 brothers and I went on the radio station, and we said that even if they never legalize marijuana, we will pray and smoke it every day still. You know? And this is the real Rasta attitude. You see, one knows that we're in this world. We are never promised a smooth ride in Babylon. We know the ways of Jacob and all the patriarchs, and we know that the righteous people were almost of necessity always persecuted. Haile Selassie first has told us that in your studies of history will show you that the majority has not always been right. He also tells us that the story of nations is often told in terms of the accomplishment of individuals. He also, you know, like mandates us that, look, in your life's work, you must use all your innate abilities as well as all such education that you may have acquired. For your responsibilities do not cease, even if you act solely under the influence of another person's will. He also tells us that even in joy or tribulation, stay steadfast to your highest ideals. He says things like, everyone wants to see our children live better, get education, and live a higher standard of life than we did. He said, but if accomplishing these things calls for hurting others or harming others, well, then these very high principles must be shunned. You know, now, studying Haile Selassie first, who in like one publication, with 209 public utterances, he deals on every aspect of life. He tells you how to deal with children, with employers, employees, agriculture, teachers, nurses, police, judges. He even said thieves are worthless men. You know? And that, I think that's something people should really listen to.
You know what I mean?
You see?
Thieves and bandits can get revealed however they run.
You see? And if we were to live according to Haile Selassie first, things will be much more infinitely better. And I'm saying plenty people, even with dreadlocks, who refuse to adhere to Haile Selassie first. But you know, some people say, you know, Rasta is your own citation, every man your own citation. Those are the intellectual lazy ones and the dishonest, hypocritical ones.
Right now for
you see?
Akash?
Let's stay on marijuana. Myself and Mr. Kissoon has always been advocating. A lot of people use marijuana for recreational purposes, but tell us about the spiritual aspect of the herb.
Okay.
When Rasta consume this sacramental herb.
Yeah, but the simplest way to put it is this. You both are familiar with meditation, right? And the state that a period of meditation takes you, right? The state that it, you know, gets you into. The relaxation and the ability to focus on, you know, a single topic, to blot out, you know, like stuff and nonsense, and, you know, slowly focus on essentials. You get that after a period of meditation and stuff. But the use of marijuana, like the smoking, the drinking, the eating, takes you into that state. I don't want to use the word shortcut, like by a shortcut, but it takes you into that state quickly.
The dimension.
Yeah, it does not mean that one cannot, even in this state, do something that is unproductive or that is like a total waste of the high state of like perspicuity. If I might use a little language,
biggish English word
that it brings you into, right? Yeah. It is supposed to bring you to that, and also there are multitude of medicinal values in marijuana. You know, like a virtual cure for all. For example, marijuana does this. If you've got high blood pressure, it will lower it. If you've got low blood pressure, it will raise it.
Well, I think it's generally scientifically accepted that it has medicinal properties. But I want to, I know a few afterwards. I know when you're leaving, you say in the more times. And I say, I going Bobby's tomorrow. What are some of the terms, Rastafari? I know when I called you for this interview, you would greet me in a way that I can't remember. Greetings in the name of Haile Selassie first. All right, say greetings in the name of Keremabi Haile Selassie, which is just the Amharic equivalent. What are some of the foods Rastafari people strictly adhere to?
Well, I is a foodist. I stay cooking, that is nice food.
I could tell you...
It's always ital, right?
What I like really that I can eat every day is Edo leaf. The leaf of Edo plant. I can eat that every day. I've eaten it every day.
Indians call it katahar.
The bread nut.
Yeah, bread nuts.
Though I could barbecue down this style.
I see the top.
Barbecue bread nut.
Yeah. You know I got style for that.
Make pepper potted bread nut too, right?
Bread nut.
With katahar and squash.
Yeah, young one. Katahar squash. You know what's something in your pepper pot too? If you put coconut jelly.
Okay. Coconut jelly is a bad man. I cook with them things.
Man,
let me try.
Freddie, we gotta go visit them day.
Well, I have given her my word. I'm coming to her. Let her measure my feet, and I want to.
Me walking right now, really, but
Oh, you're not making any.
Me ain't doing nothing right now. Cause the workshop in the state for work. The workshop.
You mean the people?
Yeah, they got you so much on the place. We gotta do some refurbishing.
So me really working. The last time I worked was here before November. I been in Trinidad and carry some leather slippers and things so. And this is when I worked the last time.
She just work in the boutique now.
Me alone in place. I got to look over the whole place. If I want to go anywhere, and nobody if I left for look over nothing. Because these was so far from my staying as far because I know the wicked.
Like how the Muslims go and pray on Friday, the Christians are Sunday. What's the day the Seventh-day Adventists do not do anything on Friday evening?
Saturday.
What is the Rastafarian day in which they practice at a very complex level, at a very truthful level, at a very devoted level,
the only time you see these souls gathering to real levels when they got the bingy.
Yeah, they gather for the holidays. But I must tell you what Haile Selassie first says on the difference between religion and righteousness, which people call spirituality. He said, religion are a set of laws and tenets made by man with a view to bring people into a state of righteousness. But because of man's imperfection, religion today has become corrupt, divisive, political, and a tool for power struggle. He said, now righteousness is a way of life. simple and original as given by the Almighty of creation. You see, so one must always remember that religion and all these tenets and rules were made by men with a view to bring people into a state of righteousness. You see, and it's like, as he said, why one must not like persecute or be prejudiced against members of any religion. He said the highest ideals of all religion is the good and benefit of all mankind. And in my studies of the Hindus, the Muslims, the Sikh, the Taoists, the Buddhist religion, this is what I have found.
The elections for the Rastafari councils held everywhere, 1 year, 2 year, every.
The elections?
Yeah, it's a yearly thing.
They ain't got none right now, but they enough time them on a scar meeting, they got a set of chairs, a set of people coming when nobody.
But is there knowledge among the Rastafari people that the Rastafari Council has gone in another direction? When you talk to Rastafari people, because it is so important when a religion, a culture, a political party, a trade union, it is so important when it is organized and it has its central location, it has a functioning executive. That is what keeps the entity alive.
Good.
So you are saying that all over Guyana, Rastafari don't meet at a particular day and vote their leadership in?
They really got all these banners running this thing. I tell you that they take this thing out to me and totally that I can't no vote going on with them.
You see,
you would be one of the longest practicing Rastafari in Guyana.
No one, you could have come
like
you
were a young girl.
Yeah, you
and Rasta Bongo saw you. And
well, now you could go as a young woman, 22, 23.
Wow.
Me body is this month, I got 59.
So you almost...
And I just there live in a hole in the place all the time. And these Rastafari for my little...
Near to your 60.
Young boys, them complain they head ain't good with me, God, that, but they in the place.
When somebody make that lamentation, there's a word, when you're talking about these sad things, I know there's a word, there's a set of words that Rastafarians say. Like when you say, man, I went to the hospital, the doctors said that this guy is in a bad condition. There's a reaction Rastafari has to that, like offering you sympathy. What is that?
No, well, we will say, man, well, strength. And, you know, or...
Yeah.
Strength onto the battle.
Strength onto
they need to learn. They need to learn to do the right things.
You know what I mean?
The right things daily is to eat right and do good. So good could follow you all days of your life. This is Melbourne teaching.
Well, you know,
so like, no fast food for us.
Don't dig no bad vibes, you know.
No fast food.
We have to read something from your book. Let's put it again. This is one of the first anthology of poems by Rastafari Brethren. It's Rasta Lyrics by Cedric Castello, and the publication of this book was encouraged by one of our foremost scholars, David Dabadine, who is coming in the country this evening and should be here in the morning to talk to you. You want to read something because I don't want this program to end without one of the Rasta sisters in this studio. She has to sing for us. She has to sing a giant of a protest song that is perhaps one of the best protest songs ever written by the global icon Bob Marley, but we come to that. Which poem you like to read from here? I have selected my poem. Let me go first. Let me look at the camera and go first. This is called Pure Thoughts on page 39 of the book. Pure thoughts, all unadulterated, all untainted, all colorless, all untouched, unmolded, unbent, unspoiled, unspent, harbored, examined, entertained, enjoyed, employed over and over again, as riding agent for the inner one, as propelled for the whole, as tourniquet, bandage, cast splinter sling, as sedative and harness to maintain control. Place position, preserved, secure, prized in private. Probably productive of lessons of life, the language of love. Leadership humane, qualities and skills. Comprehension, harmony, progressive mobility, consistency, confidence, assurance. The hitherto impossibility, wholesome good, and yes, life's first and foremost treasure, unadulterated, untainted, colorless, untouched, unmolded, unbent, unspoilt, unspent pleasure. That is Pure Thoughts from Rasta Lyrics by Cedric Castello. We have to get a reprint of this book. You want to read something from there, from your own book?
Yes.
While I get this guitar out.
Let me see.
Put on my Rasta collar.
Let me see which one I'll read. I'll read this one entitled For My Country.
For My Country, right.
Yes. They say faith can move mountains, transform any situation. And I'm thinking, in faith's absence, what if we all tried cooperation? Haile Selassie first, and even the boxers know the benefits of a combination. And in this principle has been in practice for as long as has been creation. One dry twig is easily broken, and the toddler knows this is possible. Yet the robust amongst the rest finds that he is hard-pressed to with his bare hands break a bundle. Sans religion, sans politics, sans philosophy, sans significance of racial diversity. The common good, the well-being of all, is no impropriety. To compromise is not to condescend when love and respect folks receive as folks give. And the culmination, the end, is the legendary effective collective. There are great and small peoples and places and philosophies for consideration. But the nation that made the best impression on me is the one called combination. Not brain-drained terrain, not corrupt country, and certainly not alienation.
Akash, before we get some Rasta songs, probably the best of them by Bob Marley, you want us time going?
Young people who is intrigued by Rastafari culture, the religion, well, not the religion, the spirituality aspect of it. Where do they get information, authentic and proper information on how they embrace Rastafari?
Okay, well, they can start by perusing the words of Haile Selassie first. I dare say study the public utterances of Haile Selassie first. Haile Selassie first is as a book entitled Public Utterances of His Imperial Majesty, published in 1975 by His Imperial Ministry of Information. Many excerpts, and this is the only book I've ever seen on the copyright page, has these words. Any part of this book may be reprinted for any purpose whatsoever without prior permission.
Wow.
And many people have reprinted parts of that, and their copyright page says no part of this book must be republished without permission.
Pam, in the studio. Pam, could you come next to me here, please? Could you please come next to me? This is a very vibrant Rasta woman. You have to back her up there on Redemption Song.
Yes.
You could,
just let
Pam,
me
come here.
pull back a little bit.
I'm Sister C.
Sister C.
Yes.
Sister C.
Thanks for having me
Sister
on the
C.
show.
Come near to me. Let's get you. Robert, could you get Sister C in the frame? Robert, could you get Sister C in the frame?
She needs to come in a bit more. Look, no, come behind, come between.
Come between. Come in. Yeah, right. Right. You have to take off your mask to sing. So
just put it down on the chin. Yeah.
Right. Tell us when you ready? Tell us when you're ready for her to come in. We're going to do the chorus.
Okay.
Right. Sister C, you ready?
Yes, I
Let's go.
Okay. Old pirates, yes, they rob I. Sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hands were made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly.
Chorus. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom?
Is all I ever had.
Redemption songs.
Redemption songs. These songs of freedom. Songs of freedom.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds.
We have no fear for the atomic energy. None of them can stop at the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom?
It's all I ever had. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. These songs of freedom. Songs of freedom.
Is there any other Brother Bob song you want to quickly push in? We got 1 minute more.
Like pushing a song.
You want to push in a song?
Do good.
Brother Bob,
do good.
You want to push
do
in?
Do good, Rasta. Do good. Do good. Can't do it wrong and expect to get right. Do good. Do good, Rasta. Do good. Do good. Can't do it wrong and expect to get right. Do good. Do good. Yes, do good, because Jah Almighty live within our hearts and souls, right within us he live.
Yeah.
And you just gotta just do good and live. And he shall live with you. Bless up Jah, Rastafari, Selassie. Enough love and blessings.
Sister C, one last try it, Brother Bob. Rastaman vibration, yeah, positive.
Rastaman vibration, yeah, positive. I vibration, yeah, positive.
Live if you want to live.
Rayann vibration, yeah, positive. Do good, do good.
One love.
Oh yes, you like
one
that.
Love. Let's get together and feel alright.
If you want to feel pain, just feel good and do good.
One love.
Give thanks and praise to the Lord,
and
we'll feel alright.
Thank you. I hope we got you into the frame there. Thanks, Sister
I'm a
C.
little shy.
No, Rasta can't be shy. You gotta be bold. Rasta can't be shy.
It's a little unexpected.
Our time has come. Akash, you want to say anything before we give the floor to our guest?
I just want to say that I wish that the Guyana Rastafari Council can come together and make things right. It's for the best for the Rastas in this country. Living in unity is the only way. That is the only way forward in everything. And I wish that everybody can come together and bring some sort of semblance to what is happening out there. It's not right. As Mr. Kissoon said, your story has many sides. But whatever it is, I hope that they can come together for the best for all Rastas.
I think that we all can come together over Haile Selassie first. If we all started paying real attention to the words of Haile Selassie first, that's our area of commonality, and that's where we'll really be able to develop and go forward. And Haile Selassie first himself said that anything that is not put together by and according to the principles of the Almighty is like the Tower of Babel, and it will come to naught. And the Tower of Babel wasn't just a tower, you know. They were making a rocket ship. It was a rocket ship that they were making, because we have research to show that there were rocket ships in Ethiopia thousands of years ago.
Well, Cedric, we got to go about operator signal to us.
Yeah.
You want to say anything to the Guyanese people, to the Rastafari community?
Well, yes. I give thanks to life, to the Almighty, for keeping me day by day, night by night, and allowing me for just do good, so good could follow you all days of my life. And this is why I be preaching daily, anyone daily, whether you white, you black, you blue, or you Chinese color. God live in you. Just do good and let good follow you, so you could live long and just do good.
That is so wonderful, sister, and so fulfilling.
Thanks for watching us.
This is it.
In case you just joined us, we were looking at the Rastafari culture through the eyes of Sister Rayann Fileen and Brother Cedric Castello. Sister Rayann was one of the founding members of the Rastafari movement,
Council, yes.
of the Rastafari Council, and Brother Cedric Castello is the author of Anthology of Rasta Poems. I normally say, bye-bye, catch you later, but I will end on Rasta language. In the more times.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
More times.
In the more times.